Thank you. That was really great. I wish I could do this every day. I haven't actually been here but one time. Last week was my first time. I've been here since February in Colorado Springs of last year, and I had heard about 1 million cups, and I couldn't come until last week. So, and I don't speak regularly, so just be gracious with me. So some of you know me, some of you don't, but that was a great introduction. I want to start out, do you know those cheers where you're like, we are Chick-fil-A? Does everybody know that? Like, I think it's a football thing. So everybody together with me. We are Chick-fil-A. That was horrible. One more time. We are Chick-fil-A. Okay, so I'll get back to that. But my background started, my mother was a single mother of 2 girls who didn't get along. And so that was challenging enough, but on top of that, she worked a full-time job, went to school full-time, and ended up needing to take care of her mother who had Alzheimer's. She had been in a home, but a little ways while she got an inheritance from her sister. And so we were able to move her into the house with us. And due to the fact that my mother was so busy, I took on the role of taking care of my grandmother. So for 2 years, I took care of her. And then after high school, I graduated. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went into banking. And from there, it wasn't a fit. It didn't have any real meaning. I mean, you're going to work answering questions about credit cards. People call and ask what an interest rate is, or what's this interest charge on my credit card. So it just didn't have any value. So my mom suggested I start working part-time just for extra funds, and I think she was kind of guiding me into working in home care. So I applied for a job, and I did it part-time for a while, and it just came to the point where I liked doing that better than banking. So I quit my banking job, and I started doing it full-time, and it just developed over the years. I went up the ranks, and I stayed with people for long periods of time. My first client I stayed with for 5 years. They were restaurant owners, and we got to go a lot of places and do a lot of things, and you just build a relationship with the person that you're with. So it's not like banking where you go in and you do your job and then you go home and you come back and you do your job and you go home. There's an actual relationship that you get to build with that family. And we're still friends to this day. She's no longer here and has passed. But so it's just something, sorry, I have a couple notes. Where you get to actually feel like you're connected and offer back to somebody and get something back in return. And that's what life is about, creating relationships with people. I mean, if it's not, you know, what is it? So I love doing the job for that reason, to be able to get to really know somebody. And we've all heard the analogy of McDonald's versus Chick-fil-A. Has everybody heard that analogy? If you haven't, it's basically, they do the same thing. They offer the same service. And we are in a town where there are over 200 in-home healthcare agencies. So we are one of a million. Sometimes in the beginning, I felt like I was selling salt water in the middle of the ocean, $1 a cup. So, but we've since honed our brand. We've hired a caregiver guide. Her name is Leith McGue. She raised her daughter, who was born without a functioning brain, for 12 years. So she never spoke, she never walked. And since then, she's developed a program called Brave Beauty, where she helps girls kind of point their feet in the right direction, give them confidence, and spur them on into their dreams and the life that they're supposed to live. So now she does that with our caregivers. And so the difference between us and other caregiver companies, what makes us the Chick-fil-A and not McDonald's, is that we want to really foster that community within our caregiving company. So we want it to be a community of people who are loving and serving the community. And we're really creating those relationships with our caregivers, so in turn those caregivers can create those relationships with the people that they serve. So you can start a company from the basement of your home with a phone and send out the lowest ranking CNA provider, and even without a CNA, to take care of people. But we feel like we want to focus, like Chick-fil-A does, on the customer service. I went to McDonald's 1,000 times, and once in a while I get somebody who's concerned, who's good, who's paying attention, who understands that you're supposed to let somebody get the order out before they interrupt, and just all of the different nuances that go with ordering through McDonald's, as well as going through a Chick-fil-A and it being seamless and wonderful, and your heart rate doesn't go up before you even take a bite of the meal. So we want to actually do that in home care. We want to provide an atmosphere where they can grow and learn, and they really take ownership of their job when they're at the job. Just like in Chick-fil-A, they take ownership no matter how small it is or what they're doing. And we want to foster that community and relationship. And so we're meeting tonight, for instance, at Leith McGue's house, and we meet on a monthly basis with them to build those relationships and to really involve them in the care. We listen to them, and we offer them the opportunity to really empower themselves to take control and ownership and really create deep relationships. And again, you're going to get one egg through McDonald's every once in a while. That's awesome. And you're like, what in the world is this? The actual interaction went great, and everything was seamless. But, oh.